You guys, I'm here with Miss Eleni. Eleni's been with a member for us for a very long time. I actually don't know how you got connected with us originally, but we're going to unpack that. And, you know, these episodes where we got real people on talking about their personal health journey and the impact that they're having in the community, these are my favorite. Eleni, you know, is a health practitioner in a sense. She helps unlock people to find themselves and expand, you know, in their truest form, to go into the world and present their thoughts and natural charisma, which we have in this book here that I'm shamelessly plugging here, you guys.
Plug away, baby.
This book she just wrote, this is book number 3, I just found out. This came out not too long ago, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Right? Charismatic Presence, 5 Principles for Magnetic Presentations. And Eleni does a lot of coaching around public speaking, but it is much more than that. And if you read the book or if you've talked and worked with Eleni, it really is this like self-discovery, identity capturing that just expands in all aspects of life. So long story short, I'm happy to have you talk with us here because there's parallels of what we do.
There are huge parallels.
Yeah.
I'm thrilled to be here because you know how I feel about you.
Of course.
And you know how I feel about AFS. I don't even know how long.
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
Do you remember, like, how did you get connected?
That's a really good question. I heard about it from somebody. I don't know who it was. But when I remember coming in here and just getting the best vibe, and what's really interesting to me is that after all these years, that vibe has never changed.
Yeah, I love it.
It's the AFS Love Fest.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I appreciate that, and that's very intentional. But did you and Jim start together?
Yeah, we started together. I just felt at the time, you know, neither one of us are 20 years old anymore, and I was really interested. I've been working out my entire life. Mm-hmm. That's the actor in me.
Yeah.
You know, actually that's not true. I was a naturally athletic kid. Mm-hmm. And when I was growing up, one of the places I lived was Israel because of my dad's job. And
oh, wow.
We would have these like hour and a quarter or hour and a half gym classes in school. And they were co-ed a lot of times.
Really?
We played. We had fun, you know. I had fun around sports. And I liked flinging my body around, you know.
Yeah.
So, but when I became an actor, it was it. You had to. I remember my agent in New York said, you have to be at the top of your game, period. You're competing with everybody out there. They're at the top of their game. Mm-hmm. You got to be in tip-top shape. So I had been all those years doing stuff, running. I don't know. What else was I doing? I jumping rope, which tweaked my back, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. But I was always doing something.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until I moved to New York that I joined a health club. Because this was at the time when people were starting to do this.
Yeah. What year are we talking here?
Okay.
Actually, let me back up. You got into acting.
Yes.
When?
Oh, I was a little baby practically.
Really?
When I was living in Israel, my very first acting experience was on an Israeli TV show.
Really?
They came to the school. I was in the 4th grade, and they went around looking for kids that they thought might be, I don't know, like I don't know. They picked a few of us to audition.
They picked the best looking kids. You can say it.
They picked, you know, cute little 4th graders, and then we went in, and my name on the show was Ilana. We did the pilot episode. It never went anywhere, but it was fun. But I started really, honestly, I can remember the very first time I was ever on a stage, and I was at that time living in France again due to my dad's job, and I was we did a little musical thing where we had to sing, "She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes," and we were dressed in these papier-mâché skirts and hoop earrings, and I remember my mother told me that she could hear me hollering out this song louder than anybody. I was ecstatic. I remember I was a tiny little teeny weeny one, and I remember the feeling of being in that spotlight. Mm-hmm. I liked it.
Mm. Something clicked.
Something clicked. And when I was around 12, again, back in Israel, I went to summer camp, which I hated. But what I did like was the talent show that they had. And I sang a solo all by myself on the big stage. And the audience participated in it. They sang like the chorus with me.
Yeah.
And then I stepped off that stage like a diva. And all of these people were like, oh, that was so good. And these really cute boys were like, oh man, sit next to me. And I'm like, applause and cute boys.
Give me more.
Yeah, baby. So that really, after that, I started doing plays in school, plays and being in the chorus and being in college. I was cast in a bunch of great shows. And then I was in a band fronting a great Southern rock and roll band called Windy Mountain. I cut my chops,
I was going to say, and this is like not easy stuff to absorb and be in front of a young age like that, but it seems like you took a natural liking.
It was just in my DNA.
Yeah. And I would imagine not many people realize the physical needs.
Yeah.
Right?
I was thinking about that in relationship to our conversation today. I don't think people understand how incredibly important it is to get your body ready to rock. And I mean that literally. I talk about charismatic presence, which is basically that beautiful essence of who you are, that everybody's got. Everyone's born with it, We all have it. Every little baby, every little fuzzy baby with 4 legs, Little animals have it. We are magnetic just by being. That tends to go away as we start caring too much about what other people think. And we have to recover it as we get older. But I bring it up because charismatic presence is made up of 3 presence planes. Your vocal presence, your energetic presence, which is that vibe that you put out, kind of based on what's going on in your head. Whether you have limiting beliefs or positive beliefs, right? But your physical presence. One thing you learn as an actor is that this meat suit, as Jim Barnhill, my college mentor, used to say, it's it. This is what you're inhabiting. And you have to be able to bring it to aliveness. You bring all those 3 presence planes to aliveness. You prepare yourself. But your physical plane is really important. And you cannot be present if you're sphinctered up, if you're shut down physically. You just can't. Because it basically shuts down your breathing apparatus. If you're not breathing, you're not thinking.
Yeah.
So I learned early, especially when I started taking acting classes in New York, these professional level classes, they wouldn't let us do anything until we had spent 15 to 20 minutes as a group collectively on the floor, tensing and releasing our body parts, getting in touch with our emotions, basically relaxing and energizing our bodies. Because the truth of the matter is, when you are up there, it's a marathon. It's like training for anything else. So that means that any actor worth their salt, especially someone like me who was someone who could sing and act.
Yeah.
I took dance classes. I took stage, sword play.
Really?
Yeah, just a little bit. Over the years, I did Tai Chi. And Tai Chi with wooden swords, next level up. I did some of that. I did boxing. I continued constantly to condition my body for flexibility and for strength.
Yeah. No, it makes so much sense. And I got a lot of questions. I told you we were going to go off script.
Yeah, good. I hope we do.
I got a lot of questions on what you talked, those 3 different energy mechanisms. But I want to know, how do you go from acting to getting into this work? Because it sounds like you've dissected all these things that you've experienced, and now you are teaching people.
It's the question of questions, People will look at me and go, you started there, how did you wind up here?
Yeah.
For years I was in New York or LA as a professional actress, and it was hard, okay? I'm 6 feet tall. And at the time, there weren't a whole lot of 6 feet tall women out there, well, let me put it like this. Maybe I should say there was a large number of men who were not 6 feet tall. So they'd be kind of chest high on me. And I cannot tell you how many times I heard, oh, you're so talented. You have such a great look. But you're just too tall. We can't cast you, because they had this idea that, the man should be taller than the woman, period.
That was feedback given to you?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Constantly. So talk about playing small. I wanted to cut off part of my legs. I mean, I started hating my very self for being exactly what I was, which was tall and actually striking as a result. I took up some space, but I didn't like it. And I did some amazing things. The people the offbeat, downtown, off Broadway people, they really liked me. The ones who were doing experimental work that was fusions of theater and dance and music, really cutting edge, cool stuff. I've worked with some amazing people. And, but I was frustrated. I wasn't getting cast enough, and a lot of what I just couldn't seem to get on a roll of doing nice, meaty roles that were commensurate with what I knew I could do. And I had a moment, because he asked, I'm giving you the little arc.
Love it.
I had a moment. I was doing a musical, frankly, mostly for the money, in Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh Civic Light Opera. It was a summer thing, there for 3 weeks, I think, and pretty high-level production of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, which is a great musical. But I got cast, I got cast as a bustier, leather bustier wearing, thigh-high boot wearing, red wig wearing, bullwhip wielding Amazon woman who was really basically a glorified chorus part. And I didn't go into the business, with all due respect to all the people who are chorus people, and they're amazing, and they hold up the show. I went in there to be in center stage. I went in there to do roles that, like I had done prior to going to New York, that were significant and had depth.
Yeah.
And I had a moment when I was rehearsing with the girls, the chorus, and I heard the musical director say, that Eleni, man, she's got a great voice. And I thought, yes, and it's being swallowed up right now. I am not being seen and heard. And I felt like I was wearing a cloak of invisibility, and I was done. I was done. And that moment changed things for me. Because when I moved to New York, back to New York from that job, when I went back, I should say, because I could sing so well, I was offered that same role and the understudy to one of the leads in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum that was coming to Broadway, that was starring an old actor named Mickey Rooney. And they called me, the casting director called me at my house 3 times, asking me to do this role so that I could potentially understudy this other one, because he knew I could do it. And I said no. I thought, I don't want to do this role again. I don't want to be the butt of jokes with Mickey Rooney, who was quite short. I knew that. I just thought, I'm done.
Yeah.
And that moment changed everything for me, because I started to think, what can I do to put power into my own hands? And so, long story short, that was when I started to create my own material. I put a one-woman show together called Diva's World. This is
still in the acting world.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I moved with my then husband to LA, still auditioning, theater and film, liking it, but not so much. It's because most of it was actually TV and film, and I didn't like that world so much. You're called talent out there. You're not really respected, and the roles were just insignificant. Just not 5 roles on a sitcom, 5 lines on a sitcom. Really? It just wasn't fulfilling. And long story short, my best friend out in LA at the time was killed in a car crash.
Oh,
she was
man.
she was like 2.5 months pregnant and my age.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I hadn't written songs in many years. I'd written them when I was in high school. But I woke up one morning with a complete song in my head called Angel on My Shoulder that was really about Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
And I got up and I wrote it out. I completed it. I sat at the piano. And there I birthed that song. And it was like the doors opened and I was flooded with songs.
Wow.
Flooded. And for the next year, I just got out of the way and let these songs come. And then I started to record them. And then I let go of even auditioning because I was obsessed with this. Then I started touring them. And then I was out on the road as a singer and a songwriter, with several CDs.
Wow.
And it came really easily. It was my voice, my words, my message, and I was in control. And all those things I'd done all those years, they came to play in that environment. And I started being asked to do workshops
Really?
in healing arts environments. Come on and do a workshop. You're so... I had someone named Richard Hatch, who's passed away, who was a motivational speaker, who was in Battlestar Galactica, the original one, and then the next one. Wonderful man. He heard me one day singing around the campfire at a retreat. He watched and listened, and he said, Eleni, you need to know it's important that you get up in front of groups and talk. I said, I'm already doing that. I'm a singer and songwriter. He said, above and beyond that. He said, you're a way shower. You're here to show people the way back to who they are. And then he promptly asked me to open for him in Las Vegas when he spoke there. And I did. So that happened, and I started doing these workshops around making sound and putting your voice out there. And then I created another workshop for young girls based on one of my songs, The Tallest Poppy, that was all about reaching beyond the limit sign and being as tall as you could be, if you will, metaphorically speaking. Mm-hmm. And out of that, and there I am doing all of this. And I moved to Boston to take care of my sick mother, who has Alzheimer's. And I go to a music conference in Jacksonville, Florida, and I meet my guy. I was divorced at that point, and I met Jim, a talent agent in the music business. It was like love at first sight, I'm telling you. And I moved everything, including Mummy, who was sick, and my 2 cats,
Really?
to Michigan in 2.5 months. And that was that. And that was 2002.
Oh my gosh.
And there I am. I'm a singer and songwriter. I'm doing these workshops. I've got my Tallest Poppy workshop.
Yeah.
I'm now a stepmama for teenage boys. And a woman, a young woman in her 20s, and I'm like, I need to be home more than on the road. What can I do? And that is when it all came together for me, and I started my business. I knew that I had learned a few things over the years about being present and managing, being in spotlight moments, being judged, bringing consistency, bringing confidence that wasn't faked, bringing a sense of self to the moment. I knew I could teach people this. And so if you build it, they will come. That was, again, I started my company in 2003.
Okay.
It's going like gangbusters. And everything I learned got distilled down into these 5 principles that are in this book. And that is how I'm sitting here today. I mean, I believe that if you follow the cosmic clues, what you love, what you're good at, and what feels right when you're near it, what makes you come alive, you will be led to what you're here to do. You will be led to fulfill what I call your soul role.
Soul role. Oh my God.
That deep purpose.
Yeah.
And I did, and I have, and I trust it. And here I am, talking to you.
Yeah.
Really.
That whole journey is awesome. And it's also, it's good on you to it sounds like you get a lot of the right people around you at the time to help point things out. But it's rare that people can zoom out and see the scaffolding of what's making them successful or fulfilled and keep iterating it and distilling it into what you have done. A lot of times it's kind of like just blinders on, let me just keep doing what I'm doing. Or, this is another Brene Brown quote, there's a lot of people that choose to live disappointed because they're afraid of the cost of living in joy.
Oh my gosh, I've never heard that one, and I love that. I love her. Don't we all?
Right.
I mean, a lot of my work deals with fear and managing fear. People are so terribly afraid of showing themselves. They're so afraid they're going to be shot down in some way, belittled, ridiculed. People won't like who they really are. They don't try things. They stay stuck. They'll stay in the wings, under their cloak of invisibility, waiting for someone to notice them.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way, huh?
No, it doesn't. Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can have people notice you, but you got to put yourself out there. You got to put yourself out there. You got to take the risk.
Yes. And that's where these 5 principles that you expand on, which read the book to get the details, but it sounds like your framework helps people get there.
Yeah.
Can you expand on those?
Yeah, let me talk about these very briefly because, I could talk all day about these principles, but the first is know thyself, and it's critical because, as I said before, in a sense, this is all you've got. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're an actor, a speaker, someone, running an incredible health club, whatever, it doesn't matter. You've got yourself to work with, right? Mm-hmm. And that means knowing what you're good at and knowing what you're not so good at. And celebrating and maximizing your blessings, right?
Yeah. And
minimizing or shoring up what I call the blocks. And often when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about limiting beliefs. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not interesting enough and people aren't going to listen to you. Or you're too young to be taken seriously in that position. Mm-hmm. Or you're not ready yet for that promotion, so why bother? Whatever, those kinds of limiting beliefs uttered by, I call them Mo and Schmo, your little judges.
Oh, I hate those guys.
I hate them too. We all have them.
I got them every day.
So it's what you do with them, So that's part of it. And actors, I go back to this because actors know, and they're asked. Someone will look at them and go, so tell me, are you good with comedy? And you cannot lie, because they'll find you out. You got to be truthful. It's like, yes, actually, I'm really good with comedy. I've done this, and this. Mm-hmm. Can you tap dance? No. Do not make me tap dance, please. Unless you want a good laugh, So I really mean, it's really playing to your strengths in many respects and playing down the things that are getting in your way. Mm-hmm. And making shifts internally so that you can create new beliefs that create new behaviors, which I know you know a lot about, and I believe in that. So the second principle is be thyself. Mm-hmm. It's the hardest thing known to man, honestly. Being yourself with cameras on you, right? Or just simply with eyeballs on you. On Zoom. On Zoom. Yeah. Oh my God. Can't tell you how many clients I have who are like, as soon as the spotlight's on me, I freeze. We do. So a lot of it is being willing to be present, which most of us would rather hide.
Yeah.
It's just safer to hide. And so that's when I talk about be thyself, it's a willingness to be who you are, warts and all. Not
warts
perfect. Not perfect. Mm-hmm. Perfect is boring anyway and totally unachievable. I like excellence instead.
Oh, that's a good word.
Yeah. The third one is preparation. So on my wall in my office, it says, Practice builds confidence. Confidence builds presence, and presence is power. Those are my words. I believe that with all my heart, and I have to say, I don't think there's anything more important than helping yourself be ready. We obliquely talked about that a little bit when it comes to getting your body ready.
Yeah.
But it's about getting those 3 presence planes ready.
Yeah. What are some examples? How do you get ready?
Well, let's talk about it in relationship to, let's say that, some smart person out there decided to interview you in some media situation.
Okay.
Okay? I would.
Sounds like it's coming.
You, right? I mean, yeah. So maybe it's like something really important, and it's like a media experience that you've never done before. Like a level 3, and you've only experienced level 2.
Okay. Yeah.
And you're going to have the butterflies in the stomach. Mm-hmm. And the adrenaline's going to kick in. And preparation means, besides the material at hand, which we can talk about, preparing the material is critical, of course. Thinking about what you want to say, practicing what you want to say, having a schedule in place that helps you put the pieces together. I call it a production schedule, so you give yourself plenty of time to prepare. Mm-hmm. But you have to think like a professional athlete or a professional actor. And you have to have what I call R and R and R, ritual, routine, and repetition, which is critical, which means you have to have some things that you can do to get those 3 presence planes ready. And that means that you might be uttering, you might be warming up your vocal plane by doing some simple vocal warm-ups, like,
Yeah.
or just humming on the breath. You might be doing a speed through of something that you want to say, quick little, just to get the cobwebs off, or some tongue twisters.
Uh-huh.
You might, you absolutely are going to want to do some physical relaxation, bringing your shoulders up and exhaling with a sigh, getting the yayas out, getting your body nice and loose, physically loose. You're going to want to do something that's going to bring your breath into your belly.
Love that.
I have a simplest little thing I call FBI.
Okay.
Foot, breath, intention.
Ooh.
It's a great preparation tool. It's also a great recovery tool if you get thrown. And it's so simple. It's literally feel the floor with your feet, ground yourself. Mm-hmm. Feel your tush on the chair too, your back. Just ground yourself. Wiggle your toes in your shoes. And then B is for breath. Bring your breath into your belly. But what I mean by that is calm your breath. Take charge of your breath. Because your adrenaline's going to kick it up high and fast. It's going to move it up here instead of being couched in your belly.
Yes.
So being able to do mindfulness breathing. Do you do any kind of, what do you do? Like mindfulness breathing wise? Do you have like counted breaths? Or?
Yes, there's actually it's a breathing meditation I'll do each morning. That's 10 minutes.
Oh, I love that.
But it's a guided breath work.
Yeah.
That kind of shuts things, regulates nervous system, just gets my thoughts kind of chilled out.
I love that. I do the same thing first thing in the morning.
Okay.
And in an R&R situation, doing a modification of that, or something as simple as choosing a breathing pattern like box breathing.
Yeah.
Inhaling on 4, holding for 4, exhaling on 4, holding for 4. Mm-hmm. Or I like 5, 7, 8.
Okay.
Inhaling, for 5, holding for 7, exhaling on 8, and doing it again. Try doing it 10 times with your eyes closed. By time number 7, you'll have really kind of pulled yourself out of the jaws of fear.
I love that.
So it's very important. And I like to do a little bit of Tai Chi. Yeah. And sort of bring my energy level to a place where I'm managing it.
Yes.
And I is for intention, knowing what you're there to do. When people put together presentations in my world, first thing we do is figure out what you're there to do in service to that audience. We have a whole system worked out. I take them through a series of questions that brings them to that intention statement. The whole presentation is based on that intention statement.
That's powerful.
It is. It makes I have blueprints and so forth that I've developed over the years that help people put presentations together. And they're in the book, by the way. But you've got to start with who are the people, whose butts are in the seats? What are the challenges and pain points that you're there to solve, Why are you the best fit? And then come up with an intention statement out of that. My intention is to blah, blah, so you can blah, blah.
Yeah.
So when you do that, then you have that intention that you can ask yourself, FBI, right? Remind yourself, what am I here to do? Mm-hmm. That's your
I feel like
goal.
it makes it less about you. Gets you out of your own head.
That's right.
And it puts it...
It's not about you.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
I is also for like a nice little I statement, like a little mantra, I call it a little baby power phrase. I like to call it like, I am here, or I'm nervous and excited, or I've got this.
I love that.
And I is also a little reminder, eyeball to eyeball, heart to heart.
That's good.
It's about connecting eyeball to eyeball, heart to heart. It's the most important thing, like you're doing with me.
Yeah.
And you always do.
Sure.
It's why I'm here.
No, that...
Actually.
All those little things, again, it's like I go back to your ability to dissect all of these minute but very important nuances that you could deploy tactically to lead to this outcome. Like, it's a great system. They need to teach it in schools.
No. And I have to tell you, I've got a lot of my clients all have different R as preparation. All kinds of things.
I love that.
People who call their bottle of water diva juice. I've got a client who will, before he's out there, he loves golf, he'll knock golf balls over and over into a cup.
Yeah.
It calms him, it focuses him. Then he takes that golf club onto the stage with him, and his first story is a golf story that's
so
related
cool.
to what he's there to do. And he's home, he's got the golf club.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I love it.
So whatever works.
So you have know thyself, be thyself,
prepare thyself, and then it's commit thyself. And that's commit to make bold choices. Ban wishy-washy. And this is particularly true in unscripted scenarios. We could go on and we could do an entire episode about this, but the truth is, so many of my clients are freaked out about that. Oh my God, what if you ask a question and I can't answer it? Or, the fact is, this is unscripted. You and I. Conversation is unscripted. Day-to-day life is unscripted. We are improvisation pros from the get-go. The only thing that's in our way is worrying about it and thinking we're not and trying to be perfect. Because when we were little, did we even think about that?
No, I know this.
Your friend would look at you and go, hey, let's go play superhero.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, yeah, and then you go and do it. You didn't question everything.
I have a 3-year-old who is just living that life.
Yeah, and you can see that.
There's no sense of her behaviors are not based on other people's judgments.
See?
She is totally just present in herself.
The scary thing about that is what happens. We're mostly like that for several years, and then we step into the bigger world, right? To stay that way, this is key.
Yeah.
Actors are given a hard time because they do their best to stay that way. They're often called things I don't like. Irresponsible, or like overgrown kids. You know what they really are? Disciplined, feeling, aware, conscious, the good ones.
Yeah.
And I want to say this too, because people ask me, so, okay, you wrote a book about the value of, really theater tools, performance tools. Yeah, but I don't want to be, acting is fake. I don't want to be fake. And I will say this till forever. Acting is truth-telling. Acting is unzipping yourself in front of God and everyone, as Jim Barnhill from Brown University used to say. It is your willingness to bring what you know, your perspective, your wisdom, everything you've got to the material at hand, to the moment at hand, and allowing it to infuse the material.
Yeah.
It's not fake, right?
Yeah.
It's being authentic. And what we're really talking about is that. And
I-
by the way, the next one, the last one, is turn thyself on so you can turn others on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my favorite one. I want to draw a parallel to life, because that's actually a great distinction. Acting being this fake, I don't know, people have a perception that it is fake doing, that is not authentic. But the way you describe it, man, you could apply that to a lot of people that are watching this have to perform. Their parents, they're in the sandwich generation, and they're working full time.
That's right.
It is like you can't not perform. And if you are struggling performing, it sounds like some of this work of doing this in your life situations can bring power and ownership to the moment.
It can. And you know, I think you said something when we first started about that this book or the work that I do is more than just sort of what you might think it is, and it's true. They're kind of universal life principles.
Yeah.
And I can tell you for a fact that, you know, we're certainly not here to play small. We are certainly here to honor what we're here to do. But I also think that we're here to meet the challenges that we're given to the best of our abilities. And I mean, if it weren't I believe this, from my acting training, for the work I've done with all kinds of practitioners to help me with my mental health, which is another part of this that's really important. As an actor, I had to protect myself. There's a lot of people out there who try to take advantage of you. As a woman, it was pretty challenging that way. But more than anything, constant no's can really hurt you. I went through a very bad time in my life.
Oh, I can imagine. Even the no's around your height.
All of it.
And how identity constraining that can be.
And if you don't do the inner work, the outer work's going to show it.
Oh, I love that. That's good. This is so part of the inner work, which I really liked, was the vision piece that you recommended.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Which captivated me. And we had Chris. Chris was on here talking about wellness vision. That's part of helping people achieve certain wellness states. And just the whole concept of visioning, I think, is so powerful. But I like how you it's one thing to talk about the importance of a vision and why it matters, but you actually give tactical advice on how to use it.
Yes.
Can I share some of it?
Yeah, I was going to ask. Feel free.
So I like the instructions here. So once you write your vibrant vision statement, I strongly suggest you internalize it by doing the following. Read it aloud in the morning and the evening, or as often as you possibly can. Record it on your phone. Then listen to it right before you fall asleep, and when you get up in the morning when your brain is at its most receptive. Sit quietly once or twice a day and imagine the details of the written vision statement as if you were watching the scenes in a video. And that's what I love. Read it to someone who cares about you. There's something indescribably thrilling and empowering that occurs when you lay claim to your vision statement by speaking it aloud. The level of excitement and confidence you feel around the upcoming spotlight moment rises with each spoken word. I've seen this occur again and again when I ask participants in my Skygrabber speaker presentation skills deep dive workshop to stand up and share their written speaker vision statement. It's always goosebump time for both the person reading it and for those listening.
I love written vision statements. Though you can create a vision in other different ways. You can create a vision board. But I like written ones because I'm such a little wordsmith. I like words. But to put one together, really, it's about looking ahead, putting a date out there, like a year from now, whatever, and imagining that you are living the dream that you are trying to create as a speaker, as a leader. And imagining that day represents the culmination of what you've been working toward, and it holds holistically all the elements that you want to see become manifest.
Yeah.
And you write it as if it's unspooling in front of you moment by moment. You write it in the present moment, and you allow yourself to put feelings, what you're feeling throughout the whole thing. That's really important.
Oh, I love it.
And honestly, I mean, it could include a presentation that you give and the reaction people get to it and how you prepare for it and meetings you have with the executive team and whatever it is. You want to be able to have it really represent something that when you get there, you know, oh my God, this is familiar.
Yeah.
I made this happen. I recognize this.
Yeah.
So incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's like you said, there's the cosmos, the energy in the world, like it really, like manifestation is it's a real thing.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I mean, really what you put out, you get back. I believe that.
Yeah.
And so you might as well create something that you want in your thoughts, in the actions that you take around it. It's not just about, by the way, just creating this lovely little vision statement and then forgetting about it. It's about doing the work to make it happen. I always want to say that. But it gives you, if you know what that is that you're going to create, it beckons you toward it, right?
Yeah.
And it helps you say yes and no to things as well.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Totally. No, I thought that was a valuable piece. In any aspect, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, health, business,
That's right.
parenting, like a vision, it sets the compass, sets the North Star.
Yeah.
What about, now 2003 is when your business started.
Yeah.
We're over 20 years now. As
know.
you're doing this work, what are you noticing on your end in terms of just the health? Like, how are you anchoring your health to the work that you're doing?
Yeah.
Why does it matter?
It matters so very, very much, especially as I age, right? So I'm glad you asked me that because, for example, like right now I'm recovering from a chronic bad back, right? I have a sacroiliac joints that just like to slide in and out every once in a while. I'm 6 feet tall. I have a little,
comes with territory.
Yeah, the world is built for shorter people, I'm telling you. And all those years of compensating plus a little curvature of the spine have not helped. Since I was raised in the acting world where you take care of yourself, you are fit. Always remember, you take care of your hair, your hands, your nails, and your body. This is the stuff you learn. So I've never let up on it, right? But here, I know when I decided to come here with Jim, we had different needs. He's older than I, but we both knew that we wanted flexibility. That matters to me more and more as I age. Flexibility and stamina are huge for me. Strength, physical strength. Not getting osteoporosis is big for me. I'm built for it. I have some slight, whatever, it's the
osteopenia.
Osteopenia. I'm someone like me who's kind of tall and thin, kind of built for it. So strength, flexibility, and stamina, those are important to me. And it's essential to me that I have those because I cannot do my work without it. I speak now. That's the other thing that happened I started as a coach, but then people started asking me to speak, which I love to do. I hold workshops in companies, trainings. I love to do big old keynotes.
Yeah.
And that is really like running a marathon, or try doing a 2-day workshop, facilitating a 2-day workshop. Man. By the end of it, you're just pooped. So what I eat, I have a nutritionist I work with.
Yeah.
What I eat, what I drink, when I drink, what I do. When I eat in relationship to when I present, for example, and what I eat, all those things matter. I think that way. And keeping my body in as best shape as I can. I've been dealing with this bad back for a couple of weeks now. It kind of shifted last night, so it's good.
We're on the mend?
Yeah.
Okay.
But coming here, and I told you about it, One of the reasons that I love this place, there are so many reasons. And you're not asking me about that, but I'm going to say it. But one of the reasons I love this place is because people really care. As soon as you tell one of the trainers on the floor, my back is an issue, they will like do everything in their power to protect you. They will change your routine, which is what we did today. Mm-hmm. They will make sure, they'll come and cluck over you and make sure you're not doing anything that's going to tweak it. So rather than not coming here, I came here.
Yes.
So now I want to relate that to something that happened in college.
Okay, please.
I took dance classes my senior year. I was a double major in theater and something called semiotics at Brown University.
Okay.
And as part of the theater degree, I had to take a dance class 5 days a week for an entire year.
Phew.
Which changed my body. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
It was phenomenal. It was ballet and jazz and modern all together. And there was a guy. His name was Gary. He was a Broadway hoofer.
What's a hoofer?
Dancer, actor, singer.
Got it.
He was a beautiful man, probably in his mid-30s. Gary Miller was his name. He died of AIDS, which is why I say was. He was sick with it at the time, and we didn't know. He was tall. He was beautiful. He was in his body. And there I am in this class, which I'm taking every day, and we go into finals week. And he says to us, look, I know the temptation is to not come here during this week, but make the choice to come every day. Work your body out. It'll help your soul. It'll help ground you. It'll help give you focus. It'll help you with your exams. And I did. He was right. And so rather than avoiding coming here because my back is out, I keep coming and just modifying what I'm doing until it's healed. I did that with a frozen shoulder a couple years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
So
yeah. And here's the thing.
Upkeep.
Yes, absolutely. With that said, there's also aren't a lot of, what's the word? I don't know if like, it is, I'm struggling with the words. I need help. Words are tough.
My acting teacher used to say, look up. If you
Are
can't
they there?
remember your words, they'll be there somewhere.
It's not common practice for one to lean into something that could cause them to feel worse, right? Like, for example, if you went with your bad back to, Planet Fitness, or I shouldn't say Planet Fitness, another gym that didn't have oversight or guidance, it is likely you might say, hey, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I might make things worse.
That's right.
So I think having someone like a Gary
That's right.
or a team to say, yep, here's what's going on. Here's some ways that we can keep going, but we got to watch out for this thing. That matters.
Oversight, mentoring.
Yes.
People who are there, you said this before, but having people in your life,
Yeah.
I call it your choir, the people who really want to support you, not tear you down.
Yeah.
So it really matters who you work with and who you hang with, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
That same Jim Barnhill, I'm talking about Jim Barnhill a lot today.
Man.
He passed at almost 100
Oh my
years
gosh,
ago.
no
Yeah,
way.
wonderful man. But he told me, he said, Eleni, when you go to New York, when you move there, he said, know that you've got a good head on your shoulders and you're grounded, and that will help. But also let yourself be, get involved with the good people. Good people. Grounded, real, helpful,
yeah.
positive, and trust your gut on that. And I believe that it's the case here. It's like, there's not, for example, here, there's not one trainer that isn't everything that you need a trainer to be. And I'm not just talking about unbelievably skilled from a physical standpoint of knowing what needs to be done. I'm talking about charismatic presence. I'm talking about a willingness to be present, really present, talk with you, look you in the eyes, share themselves with you. I feel like you're my friend. You're my friend. We lost one of our friends, you know.
Yeah.
We lost Tyler recently, and it warmed my heart to see at his funeral how many people were there for him, but how many
God.
people who come to work out at AFS were there to honor his life.
Yeah.
I thought, this is what you do, and that's what Charismatic Presence can do. Your willingness to be genuinely present with people and share who you are with them in the name of being of service in some kind. It brings people to you. It brings people together. It builds relationships. It's everything.
Yeah. Oh.
And consistency, that's the other thing. Coming here consistently, right? It's how you build it. But I was not very good at being consistent with my presence as a young actor in New York. I had trouble. I got thrown really easily.
Mm-hmm.
If people weren't nice to me in the audition, I would shut down.
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn how to not necessarily let your presence be reflect what's coming back at you. If it's negative.
Totally. No, you're right. I think it's easier to do that when you have a support system that kind of mirrors and validates when you are doing a lot of this work. A lot of this is embedded in vulnerability.
Yes.
And I was reflecting on with Tyler's situation. It was the worst. It was so emotional, but there was also a piece that was really powerful and pleasant. Was just you could be so vulnerable. We were all so vulnerable for 7-10 days with each other here. And it just highlights the power of relationships. Like that's when true relational value shows itself.
You all, but I remember when you and Mike got up to let us all know, and you spoke about it, you shared it with us, you did a recording that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we could feel your feelings, and we leaned into it as a result. And at the funeral, when you got up and you spoke, and I mean enough that I wrote a LinkedIn newsletter article about it, exemplifying what in many ways you're talking about. The community was there, and you represented the community. You were there to talk on their behalf, this community.
Mm.
And you were the epitome of vulnerable in the most beautiful way. I want to say this because I have this opportunity here. I work with all genders. I work with a lot of men who are afraid that vulnerability is a weakness. People are afraid they're going to cry when they deliver a speech at their daughter's wedding or something, for example, or get emotional when talking to their team at work. They don't want those feelings. And yet those are the feelings that they have. And being able to stand in them, feel them, and move through them is a gift that you give your audience and yourself. And you did that day. You did it. You exemplified that beautiful vulnerability, and you never got off course. You felt, you were vulnerable and present, and you stayed in the saddle. You know what I mean? That's what it's about.
Mm. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. It was beautiful to see.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're a rock star, and I'm very humbled when I read that post. But yeah, this whole relationship piece, I think, is one of the world's greatest, maybe most valuable currencies. Is having the ability to cultivate, really strong relationships, and in doing that is, showing yourself. It is working on yourself.
That's right.
So I also want to connect this to just human being performance, period. Like, you do not have to be an actor.
You do not at all.
You do not
or
have to
a
be
speaker,
or a speaker,
or anything like that. I'll help you know how this has helped me just as a human.
Mm-hmm.
My brother George, advanced degree martial artist, lawyer turned cross-border negotiator, blah blah blah, big huge, big presence, huge. Like, I dedicated this book to my brother George because he exemplifies, this charismatic presence on Max. And my brother, this extraordinary human came down with COVID.
Yep. Keep going.
He came down with COVID, the bad COVID,
Okay.
right? My brother came down with the bad COVID at the end of 2020, the worst COVID. And
I
he
remember
got
this, yeah.
deathly sick, meaning he was intubated for 2.5 months. His lungs turned into Swiss cheese. When he came out of that coma, he could not lift his arms, move his hands, walk, sit, stand, eat, or talk. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah.
And then I don't need to go into his story in great detail, but let me just say that after an enormous amount of rehab that included coming to be with us for 6 months, we had rehab people come in and help him. My brother died of COVID 3.5 years almost, about 3 years after he contracted it. That's how weakened he was. And I bring this up because when he lived with us, while I was, or even before that, my brother was in a hospital room and I couldn't visit him, right? Like so many of us.
Yeah.
And every day I would sit in I worried that he would die. Every day was hit or miss. He almost died 3 times. Every day I would sit in the living room and I would meditate quietly, and I would imagine my brother was holding my hand. And I would be with him. I would get on my Peloton every day and work my body out. Mm-hmm. I got on some of your amazing pandemic videos, you and Chris, which were hilarious. I kept it up religiously every day, routine. And when my brother finally was able to come live with us for 6 months, I had to run my business, maintain a relationship with my husband, and take care of my brother in ways I never knew I would have to in my life, okay? I don't need to go into great detail about that.
Sure.
With someone whose nervous system had been tweaked forever because of what he'd experienced, who was afraid of every little thing, who couldn't even take a shower without feeling like the water was needles, who was so anxious that he could be set off so quickly, who had so much trouble breathing, that every moment with him was filled with angst. And I had to be present, breathing, and relaxed with him because he could feel my energy. Mm-hmm. I had to stay in my body. I had to manage all of the itinerary, just stuff that came along with it. And if I had not had the training that I've had, done my mental health work too, got a great therapist again. I've been in and out of therapy.
Yep.
I've had I've got business coaches, life coaches. All of these people over the years have taught me things. And if it weren't for the discipline of that, and for my willingness to be with my brother, as fully present with him, I wouldn't have seen the grace that those 6 months and actually this time that we have really were for me. Because my brother and I connected in ways we never had before. Oh. We sat and talked. We looked each other in the eyes. We cried together. We held hands. We did things we never did. He was my older brother. We didn't,
Yeah.
He called me fathead, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We opened up to each other.
Yeah.
And that, okay, that we have the ability to make choices in every moment about how we're going to be with someone. There were times I just wanted to strangle George. He drove me crazy. He was so needy. Of course, he couldn't do anything for himself. He couldn't, any food I made, he couldn't taste. He hated it. He spit it out. Believe me, there were times I just wanted to scream and yell, but I made another choice. And I stayed in my body, and I stayed breathing, and I stayed connected to him to the best of my abilities. Was it perfect? No. And they didn't have any pre-existing conditions. You're like, wow, it could happen to anybody. Right?
Yeah, you get sober real fast,
Yeah, you really
and gain perspective real fast.
You do.
So this is what I want to end with you on, right? Like, the work that you do helps people in so many ways. And a lot of the people that are on the fence of living a more vibrant, fulfilled life, like truly embracing their charismatic presence, there's a lot of things, the self-talk and the beliefs and the constraints. If you were to share one piece of wisdom or insights with them, what would that be for them to just start taking some positive direction?
It's your responsibility to fan the flames of your charismatic presence. There's not a person on this planet who's going to care more about it than you. I'm talking about you. What that means is you have to be willing to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, where am I stuck? Where am I stopped? What do I know I really should be doing? Or what are the areas? It's the know thyself portion of it you got to be really, really willing to look at yourself and figure out where you might need to do the work. At that point, there are various things that can happen. One is you can try to do the work yourself. And we all can. Mm-hmm. There's tons of materials out there. There's books like mine. There's so many great resources. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet that can help you get more clear, figure out what the limiting beliefs you have are, find ways to shift them. But if, for example, you're trying to get better as a speaker because you have a small business and you know that you want that business to thrive and you're the face of that business and you're scared of public speaking, you probably need a professional to help you. So take the risk to invest in yourself and get the help that you need. Find a coach, take a class. It's small steps. Don't scare the bejesus out of yourself by making yourself go do a keynote for 1,000 people when you've hardly ever spoken in your life. Small steps, incrementally, allowing yourself to feel the fear and do it anyway, because part of what you need to be able to learn how to do is be afraid, know that it's okay, and do it anyway. There is no shortcut to that. I always say you have to be willing to stand in the murky middle of discomfort between what you know now and what you don't know yet in order to begin to move forward. So take the risk. Try one small thing, whatever that might be, and allow yourself to celebrate that you did. That is how you build confidence from the inside out. That is how you allow yourself, even if it's at the checkout line, admire. When the cashier looks at you and says, "How are you doing today?" Look them in the eyes and say, "I'm glad you asked," and have an actual conversation with them. That's a start. That's a small thing. Imagine doing that with your family members, with your team members, actually being enough, care enough about them to really be there and talk with them and share. Share yourself. That's what I have to say.
Everyone, this right here. Pick it up. Eleni, you rock. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for sticking around, watching, learning. If you extracted some value, please share this with your friends and family. You can also click the subscribe link. I believe if you're on the Spotifys and Apples and you're listening to this, there's a subscribe link at the bottom of the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, bottom right of this video, you can click subscribe to stay up to date on the latest episodes. Thank you again for joining us on this episode. And with that being said, be well, stay connected, and take care of your health.